The Red Raider football team is still recovering from a rough loss against a top-ranked opponent on Saturday. Coming up, MCTV's Jessica Riley has a look back at this weekend's game and more in sports.
Students who have not declared a major have a chance to learn more about some of the fields of study the campus has to offer. Find out more about the annual T College Series next.
And some very special insect visitors are adding some color to the Tech campus. We'll tell you why they're here and how you can see them before they're gone.
This is the MCTV Weekday Update.
Welcome to the Monday edition of the MCTV Weekday Update. I'm Ryan Heller.
I'm Aditya Sahasrabudhe, AD. This past Saturday, the number 25 ranked Texas Tech football team had high hopes for back-to-back wins over a ranked opponent.
Unfortunately, the Red Raiders fell just short of a highly motivated West Virginia team. MCTV's Jessica Riley is in studio with a recap of Saturday's loss. Jessica?
Thanks, Ryan and AD. The number 12 ranked West Virginia Mountaineers walked into the Jones AT&T Stadium with all cylinders firing. From kickoff, the Mountaineers offense was ready to go, scoring 21 unanswered points in the first quarter. From there, Texas Tech finally began to answer, scoring 24 of their total 34 points in the second half. Tech also held West Virginia to only one touchdown in the second half of the game, but that wasn't all for the Mountaineers needed to pull off the win. The final score of the game was West Virginia 42 to Tech 34. Coming up later in sports, I'll have another look at Saturday's game, along with details on a big injury that could affect the Red Raider season going forward. Back to you, AD.
Thanks, Jessica. Before Saturday's tough loss, the Tech community geared up for the big game with a series of events around campus. One of those events included a special pre-game tailgate party hosted by the TTU Library. Starting at noon, the library invited students to the free speech area where they could grab some food, swag, and even get a picture taken with the Red Raider. All for free. The event also included live music and a whiteboard where students could make recommendations for improvements to the library's facilities and services. The library tailgate is an annual event held each year during football season. For a full list of all the events the library hosts each week, visit library.ttu.edu and look up for the upcoming events near the middle of the page.
Students on the Texas Tech campus have the choice of majoring in over 70 different undergraduate majors. But for students who may not know what they want to study, an annual set of presentations might help them make that choice. The Office of the Provost hosting the second year of the T College Series. The series features faculty from around campus giving presentations focused on their field of study. Last Thursday, Dr. Luc Lefebvre presented a talk called Think Cinematically, a presentation that will impress, in the Red Raider sub-ballroom. Lefebvre is an assistant professor in the College of Media and Communications, and he is also the Director of Communications Training Center located in the MCOM building. Lefebvre's presentation focused on how students can engage audiences by using dynamic presentation skills. The presentation not only talked about public speaking skills, but it also focused on how to improve presentation slides and other elements used during the presentation. Thursday's talk was the second of 4 presentations taking part during the fall edition of the T College Series. The next presentation, entitled Red Raider Traditions, is scheduled for Monday, October 8th at noon in the Sub-Matador Room. Red Raiders Tradition will feature Kimberly Thornton, Director of the Center for Campus Life. If you would like more information about this presentation or the others in this year's series, just visit the Office of the Provost's website at provost.ttu.edu.
Speaking of Red Raider traditions, one of the biggest traditions that almost every Texas Tech student participates in is taking a picture with university's famous seal. And right now, you can learn more about this famous image by visiting the Southwest Collection. Appeal of the Seal, the history of Texas Tech University seal, is currently on display in Southwest Collection's Special Collections Library. The exhibit features various pictures and information about the seal's creation and eventual approval in the 1940s and 50s. The display also includes artifacts featuring the seal, including china, a TTU stole, and a charm bracelet. Appeal of the Seal also details the creation of the granite replica of the university's seal, which currently sits at the Broadway entrance to campus. If you would like to see the exhibit in person, you can stop by the Southwest Collection on Mondays, Wednesdays or Friday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Tuesdays and Thursday from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. and Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Students making their way to class by walking past the Plant Sciences building may have noticed some special visitors over the last week.
That's right, AD. The annual monarch butterfly migration is making its way through the South Plains, and you currently have a chance to see these unique insects in person. Just east of the Bayer Plant Sciences building, you can find a planter featuring yellow flowers. Those flowers are currently home to dozens of monarch butterflies who are making a short stop in the Lubbock area before they continue their journey to Mexico. The monarch butterfly is the only insect that migrates in search of an escape from the freezing temperatures. In the case of the butterflies here on campus, they began their journey in Canada before making their way south through the Great Plains. Your best chance to see this year's migration will take place between now and mid-October.
As the monarchs already know, every fall weather on the South Plains is usually warm, and this week looks to be no exception.
But one other thing we've been able to rely on the last couple weeks has been rain. So can we expect more storm systems heading our way this week? Let's take a look at the MCTV forecast. The MCTV tower cam is showing a few clouds in the sky this afternoon, but there's a lot more sunshine than we saw earlier today. Temperatures should stay pretty mild into the late afternoon, with a high expected to climb just above 80 degrees. Temperatures will stay mild overnight, but early Tuesday morning we'll see a return of cloudy conditions, some chances of rain just before classes start. Rain showers could continue until late as 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. But after that, the storm system will move out of the area and we should see a return of the sunshine around noon. From there, temperatures will climb back into the mid-80s, making for a very nice evening. After sunset, there's another slight chance for showers, but those chances disappear as we approach midnight. On Wednesday, sunny skies and warm temperatures will return to the area, with highs predicted to reach 90 degrees. We'll see another day of warm weather on Thursday, but we'll also see return of clouds and the possibility of more rain. After sunset, a storm system is predicted to move into the area, bringing a round of thunderstorms before midnight. Looking ahead, the warmer temperatures will stick around until Friday, and rain chances continue through the weekend.
The Texas Tech football team made the biggest headlines this weekend, but they weren't the only team in action.
MCTV's Jessica Riley has a look back at all the action from Tech athletics and sports. Jessica?
Thanks, Ryan and 80. There was a lot going on for all Texas Tech teams this past weekend. First off, number 25 Tech football was unfortunately defeated by the number 12 West Virginia Mountaineers. Quarterback Alan Bowman was not able to return after the game after the second half due to a hard hit during a play. In the first half, Tech was down by 25 points, but closed the score gap in the second half based on improved play by Jeff Duffy. However, Tech lost after West Virginia quarterback Will Greer threw 370 yards and 3 touchdowns to lead the Mountaineers past the Red Raiders 42-34. Furthermore, Texas Tech junior wide receiver Antoine Wesley has been added to the 2018 Blitnikoff Award watch list, nominated to be the nation's top receiver. Wesley is a junior and has accumulated 511 yards and 4 touchdowns on 30 receptions through 4 games this season. His 511 yards leads Big 12 wideouts and ties for the second most among FBS receivers this season. The Red Raiders have a bye week this Saturday before returning to action against TCU on Thursday, October 11th. In other sports news, the men's tennis team continued its fall schedule with 2 tournaments, the Texas Tamale Rice Invitational and the St. Francis Health System ITA All-American Championship. They will next compete at the ITA Texas Regionals in Waco on October 18th before heading to Los Angeles for the Social Intercollegiate the following weekend. And some other big news for Tech athletics, the Texas Tech men's golf team is now ranked number 25 in the nation. The ranking comes after the Red Raiders' success at the first 2 tournaments of the fall season. Tech is one of the 5 Big 12 teams to be ranked in the top 25. The others include Oklahoma State, Oklahoma, Texas, and Baylor. Texas Tech women's volleyball played Iowa State at home on Friday and won 3-1 to remain undefeated at home. Tech hopes to continue their streak as they face Kansas State Wednesday at the United Supermarkets Arena. Tip-off is scheduled for 6 p.m. Over the weekend, women's soccer traveled to Oklahoma but ended in a tie with the final overall score of 0. The team returned home yesterday for a showdown with the Baylor Bears. Unfortunately, Tech came up with a short final score of 0-2. The team is now 9-3-1 overall and 1-1 in conference play. Texas Tech athletics weren't the only teams making headlines this weekend. Here's a quick roundup of the world of professional sports. Playoffs are being set for Major League Baseball this week. After 25 years, the Colorado Rockies finally made it to the playoffs. The defending world champion Houston Astros are already in the playoffs. The team has a set franchise record with their 103rd win. The Texans' Deshaun Watson traveled to Indianapolis to try to stop his team's long 9-game losing streak. The Texans pulled out the victory with a 37-34 win in overtime. The Browns' Baker Mayfield and the Cardinals' Josh Rosen highlight rookies made their first start. And the Patriots' Tom Brady will attempt to avoid the team's worst start since 2012 with newly acquired embattled receiver Josh Gordon making his first start with his new team. That's all for sports. Back to you, Adi.
Thanks, Jessica. With October underway, midterms are just around the corner. If you need an escape from the stress of school and homework, there's a few options for an escape this week right here on campus. Let's take a look at the MCTV events calendar. Starting today, the Residence Halls Association is celebrating a week-long set of activities during RHA week. First up on the schedule is an event that will allow you to show off your green thumb. Succulents and Sustainability will be taking place tonight from 7:30 to 8:30 p.m. in the Chetwood Residence Hall classroom. RHA will provide all the materials you need to plan a water-saving plan in a water bottle. The event showcases ways you can recycle and help save the environment. Tonight's event is free for all students.
Also, tonight, if you're looking for some entertainment and really enjoy jazz music, one campus department has an event for you. The School of Music will be hosting the fall edition of the Jazz Ensembles concert tonight in the Hemley Recital Hall, starting at 7:30 p.m. The students from the Jazz 1 and 2 ensembles will showcase well-known works along with some new music to get your foot tapping. Selections for tonight's concert include works by Herbie Hancock, Johnny Mercer, and Frank Foster, among others. Tonight's Jazz Ensemble concert is free and open to the public.
And if you have ever wondered what it's like to live with a disability, one unique event will give you a small chance to see what it's like. Student Disability Services is hosting the annual Deaf Bingo event on Wednesday, starting at 5:30 p.m. in the Wallgates Residence Hall lobby. Deaf Bingo features the traditional game using only sign language to call out the numbers and letters. Attendees will have a chance to learn some sign language as well as gain a better understanding of what it's like to live without the benefit of hearing. Wednesday's event will also feature free snacks and giveaways. Deaf Bingo is a part of Disability Week.
So, AD, you think you're going to go to any of the events this week?
Absolutely. How often do we get a chance to be in someone else's shoes?
It's very true. I can't argue with that.
That's for today's edition of the MCTV Weekday Update.
Thanks so much for joining us, and be sure to check t2hub.net every day for more news. We'll see you on Thursday.